I won't let my toddler daughter sleep in my teenage son's rooms. I have two teenage boys, Marcus who's 16 and Tyler who's 14, and a 3-year-old daughter named Lily. This whole thing started about 3 weeks ago when Lily had a nightmare and ran into Marcus's room around midnight. My wife Amy found them the next morning with Lily curled up in his bed while Marcus was sleeping on the floor with just a blanket. Amy thought it was the sweetest thing ever and took like 50 pictures. She posted them on Facebook with some caption about protective big brothers. I didn't think much of it at first either. It was one night and Marcus had given up his bed, which seemed responsible. But then it kept happening. Lily would have a bad dream or wake up scared, and instead of coming to our room, she'd go straight to one of the boys' rooms. Within 2 weeks, it became this regular thing where she was sleeping in their rooms 3 or 4 times a week. Amy started saying it was fine and that we should just let it happen since Lily felt safe with her brothers. She even suggested we put a sleeping bag in Marcus's room permanently for when Lily got scared. That's when I said no. I told Amy I wasn't comfortable with our toddler daughter regularly sleeping in teenage boys' rooms, period. She looked at me like I just said the most offensive thing in the world. "We're talking about your sons," she said. "Our sons. They're her brothers." I know they're her brothers, but they're also teenage boys with developing brains who don't always think clearly. I'd read this article about how most abuse happens within families, like over 90% of the time it's someone the kid knows and trusts. Amy got really quiet and I could tell I'd struck a nerve, but I kept going. I said I wasn't accusing anyone of anything, I just thought it was better to have boundaries. Better safe than sorry. That's when she completely lost it on me. She started yelling about how dare I even suggest our boys could be dangerous. How dare I compare them to predators. She brought up how I've never had a problem with them babysitting Lily or giving her baths when she was younger. I tried explaining that this was different, that having a teenage boy and a little girl sleeping in the same room overnight regularly was just asking for trouble. Not because I thought my sons were bad kids, but because I didn't want to be the naive parent who said my kid would never do that. Then Amy dropped this bomb on me. She told me when she was 7, her cousin who was 15 molested her during a family camping trip. He was sleeping in the same tent as her and her sister. Everyone trusted him because he was family and had always been nice to the younger kids. She said she never told anyone except me about it because she didn't want to ruin family relationships. And now here I was treating our sons like they were potential criminals when they'd done nothing wrong except love their little sister. She started crying and said she felt horrible for our boys that I could even think such terrible things about them. I told her I was sorry about what happened to her, but that's exactly why we need boundaries. Because her family trusted that cousin and look what happened. She said I was using her trauma against her and that the situations weren't even comparable. We've barely spoken in 3 days. She set up a baby monitor in Lily's room and told the boys to walk Lily back to our room if she comes to them at night. But she did it in this way that made it clear she was only doing it because I was being unreasonable. Marcus asked me yesterday why Lily couldn't sleep in his room anymore and if he did something wrong. I had to explain that he didn't do anything wrong, but that I thought everyone should sleep in their own rooms. He just nodded, but I could tell he was hurt. Tyler hasn't said anything, but he's been avoiding me all week. Amy keeps making these comments about how I've damaged the boys' relationship with their sister over my paranoid thoughts. She told her mom about it, and now my mother-in-law is texting me about how disappointed she is in me for not trusting my own children. Last night, Lily had another nightmare and tried to go to Marcus's room. He walked her straight back to ours without even letting her in. She was crying the whole time asking why Marcus didn't want her anymore. Amy looked at me like this was all my fault.